Hey, what's going on? I'm back again with another GT7 daily race in my quest to get to the upper lobbies. Can I do it? This time I decided to qualify, and after several laps around Suzuka, I was able to better my time. That put me on pole position for the very next race, and the rest follows. Now you can see as we move through Suzuka, there's a lot of twists and a lot of turns, a lot of up and a lot of down shifting. Just a little bit of background about myself. I used to use racing assists all the time. I didn't care, and actually I thought it was providing me with an advantage. But in fact, it wasn't until I turned off the driving line, the braking lines. I still used the brake indicator, but it wasn't until after I turned them off that I actually started to see a considerable improvement in my lap times. And what was happening is I was just going slower because I thought I was braking too early or I wasn't braking hard enough. Whereas now, without the assists on, I'm forced to really pay attention to key markers on the track that will help to indicate when I need to brake or when I need to push a little bit deeper, and so on and so forth. So we're about 3/4 of the way done with lap one. For the most part, I feel like I've raced it pretty clean. I hit the apexes, I didn't overdrive, didn't really oversteer, hit all my braking zones, and it was just overall a clean lap for me. My first laps are usually pretty good. I have started in pole position before, so I don't normally feel like a whole lot of pressure, but I do know that I do have a tendency to overdrive. That's probably what's caused me to drop into these lower lobbies, is just pushing a little bit too hard and not being patient enough, which you're about to see. So going right here into turn one, I just completely blow past my braking zone, and then round and around and around and around we go. Luckily, I was able to save it and kind of point myself in the direction of the track, so it didn't hurt too bad. This one was a lifesaver because I've dropped all the way back to last place on a spin like that before, and it's just so heartbreaking. You don't want to quit. You want to save it because you don't want to lose any more driver rating or sportsmanship rating. There goes P3. So now I'm in a battle to just stay on the podium. Okay, so fast forward to lap 3, and you can see I'm starting to catch up to P1 and P2 as we go into turn 1. A little bit of correction right there, and I'm in the Lamborghini Huracan. I think this vehicle absolutely rocks. It's got great acceleration, it's got a lot of grip, it handles these turns really, really well, and it's part of the reason why I'm able to catch up to these guys. The other part is you can see they're battling a little bit. There goes P2, he goes off track. Now, anytime that happens and you're approaching like that, you always want to be a little apprehensive and not just go for the quick overtake, because you never know. There's a lot of times where they're trying to correct themselves, they can't see you, and they're just going to run right into you. It's going to punch you off the track, and it's going to ruin your race. But I also said that to say this. In times where that has happened to me, one of the things that I don't like doing is just quitting the race. Number one, you lose, some of your ratings and stuff like that. But also too, battling your way back to the podium or to the midfield when you just got punted to last place is a lot of fun. It can be very gratifying and accomplishing, knowing that you stuck it in there and you went from 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 place, and you were able to finish, top 5 or top 10. So one bit of advice that I would give any new driver is don't quit. Stick it out, drive it, learn the track, and get it back on the next one. So we're going to fast forward to the end of lap 4. As we go into lap 5, this is where it gets really exciting. So if you recall, I started on pole position. I spun out on lap 2, fell back to 4th place. So by lap 5, catching back up to P1, I'm excited right now. Plus, we're going into the part of Suzuka that I feel the most comfortable with. Now, Bill over there in P1, Bill from Canada, he's been pretty good up until now. I think he's starting to feel the pressure because I've been in his position before and felt the pressure from a vehicle that's closing in on you. And so I'm excited because here we go. I'm getting closer and closer, and then right here, Bill misses that braking point, it looked like. He went a little bit wide, and I was able to catch up. I take this turn almost pretty flawlessly, and I'm able to gain more pace on him, but this is where it all goes south. This is a perfect example of what not to do. And there it is. You hate to see it. So I think one of the things that's going to help me get into those upper lobbies is having more patience. When I was watching the GT World Series, I noticed that a lot of these tier 1 guys that are racing, they are very, very patient. There's some times where they were racing where I felt like, wow, they could have passed right there if they wanted to. But then when they finally make their move, you realize that it just didn't make sense. They needed to be patient and wait for the moment. And that's one thing that I'm trying to get better with, is just waiting for my moment. I mean, I'm already catching up to him. You saw my pace was a little bit faster. He was running about a second and 3/4, down to about a second faster than me the whole time. And then I made all that back. So realistically, if I just maintain my pace, I'm going to catch up to him. And the chances are, around one of these turns with the Huracan and its acceleration, there's no reason why I shouldn't pass him up. But unfortunately, the C lobby came out of me, and I was impatient, and just another reason to show you why being patient and having sportsmanship and not getting too overzealous is key. I end up finishing in P2, so I'm not disappointed. I'm actually happy about it, and overall, the race was really exciting. Okay, so one last thing that I want to share is this particular race with this guy in the 911 RSR called Bone from the USA. Now, he and I had been in several lobbies together. We had a similar pace. We qualified very similarly, if I'm remembering correctly. And overall, it was just fun racing against him. It was good sportsmanship. You can see a little bump draft there. Now, going into this turn here, I pushed a little bit too deep, missed the braking zone, and punted him off track. Now, the C lobby in you says, just keep going, he'll catch up, but that's not really the driver that I want to be. I am on a quest to get into the upper tier lobbies. I do want to race faster drivers. I want to get faster myself, so I put on my blinker and I let him retake the position because it's the right thing to do. Now, immediately after that, I go and check my profile to check my driver rating, and it improved. So I made it to driver rating B, so I'm super stoked about that, and I hope to continue to progress. Thanks for watching.